What is going on, everybody? Kevin here, and today I want to share with you some of my absolute favorite state parks in Utah. I've been traveling, filming, and road tripping Utah for the last 7 years, and it's one of my favorite places in the world to travel to, hike in, and explore. Utah is scattered with national parks, national monuments, and state parks. The state is home to 5 national parks known as the Mighty Five, and there are 46 state parks throughout Utah. In this video, I will be sharing my top 10 state parks, and I just want to note ahead of time that I am not a local to Utah, so if I do happen to mispronounce anything, I apologize ahead of time. I also want to note and thank the park system for their new drone permit system. I'm not exactly when it was put into place, but Utah state parks have made it very easy to fly drones in the park for a small fee, so thank you. And really quick, if you don't mind, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more travel guides and videos. But without further ado, let's hop right into my top 10 Utah state parks you need to visit. First up is going to be Snow Canyon State Park, and I've got to say, this has to be one of my favorite places in all of Utah. Snow Canyon is just 15 minutes outside of St. George, which in itself is an awesome base camp for adventure. Snow Canyon has a day use fee of $10 per vehicle, and all of the state parks in Utah I'm going to be talking about today have day fees that typically range from $10 to $20. There are certain discounts, annual passes, and some of the parks also have campgrounds, so just a note for other types of passes and things. Snow Canyon has extremely diverse landscapes, which is obvious the moment you drive in from all of the colors you'll see. There are beautiful bright green trees, black lava rock, the classic red rock of the Utah desert, white rocks, and the park also has slot canyons, a volcano, and sand dunes. Snow Canyon really has it all, and some of my favorite trails include the White Rocks Trail, Jenny Canyon, Petrified Dunes, Lava Tubes, and the Cinder Cone Trail. You could spend a week here and still not see it all. It's actually kind of surprising that this place isn't a national park. Definitely worth adding to your Utah bucket list and travel itinerary. This is also a great area for rock climbing, so if you are a climber, this is a great place for top rope, sport climbing, and trad climbing. Next up is going to be Quail Creek State Park, which is just outside of Hurricane, Utah, and is also relatively close to St. George. A resident day use fee is going to be $15 per vehicle, and for out-of-state visitors, it is $20. Also, honestly, if you're going to visit all of the parks in this video, it's worth it to get an annual pass, as you'll get access to all of the parks for a one-time fee of $100 for the entire calendar year. And this is going to include all 46 state parks, not just the ones I'm going over in this video. This is a very unique location to visit. It's a beautiful and colorful body of water right in the middle of the Red Rock Desert of Utah, so you're surrounded by amazing rock formations, and Bree and I actually rented kayaks here with Dig Paddle Sports, which I highly recommend if you're looking to get out in the water. It's an amazing day activity and super affordable. At number 3, we're going to have Kodachrome Basin, which I hadn't really heard of at all until 2 to 3 years ago, and it wasn't until last year that I actually got a chance to visit. This is probably one of the more hidden gems on this list, and definitely one of the least trafficked parks on this list. To visit, there's going to be an $8 day use fee, and campsites can be found from $19 per night per site. And my drone permit was $5 and super easy. I just had to go inside of the visitor center and, fill out the necessary paperwork. This park has some awesome rock spires that are massive. It's really cool to see the scale of them next to a person or next to a car. There's also a bunch of great trails. My favorite trails in the park and things to see here are going to be the Angel's Palace Trail, the Sentinel Trail, Ballerina Spire, and Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock was probably my favorite. It is a dirt road to get out to, but any car can make it. My Corolla was just fine. At number 4, we're going to have Goblin Valley, which is another one of my favorites. The rock formations here are awesome. There's a beautiful separation of rock colors between orange and white that show millions of years of history. In between these rock formations, there are some awesome yurts that you can actually spend the night in, and it kind of gives this place a, Mars vibe. Not that any of us have been to Mars, but it looks like what I imagine Mars looks like. After checking out the north side of the park where the yurts are, on the southeast side of the park, there's an area and trail called the Valley of the Goblins, which is amazing to roam around in and explore. Camping here is great, but also if you wanted to, this could be done as a day trip from Moab. Goblin Valley is an hour-and-a-half drive from Moab one way, and that would be a great addition to a Moab trip if you're visiting Arches or Canyonlands National Parks. Next up is going to be Gunlock State Park, and this park is in southwest Utah, and it is just south of the small town of Gunlock. It's a bit further drive northwest of St. George. Gunlock State Park is a 266-acre reservoir. The dam was constructed in 1970 for irrigation water and flood control, but this is another beautiful body of water right in the middle of the desert. There also was supposedly a beautiful waterfall hike here, but when I have visited, the water has never been flowing, so I haven't gotten to see the waterfall or document it. And when I talked to the rangers, I believe they mentioned that the waterfall no longer flows at all really, but you can't quote me on that because I don't have an exact answer on it. Day use for an out-of-state vehicle is going to be $10, but it's worth it. And this is a lesser traffic state park as well, so it's a great place to camp and find some solitude.
When we wake, hear the birds.
At number 6, we have Goosenecks State Park, which is a park that I have been wanting to visit for a few years, and I just recently got to finally make it happen. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere in southeast Utah, but when we were driving from Page, Arizona to Moab, it was pretty much right on the way, so I'm really glad we were able to stop. In my opinion, this looks like a way more rugged version of the famous Horseshoe Bend, which is in Page, Arizona. The way the river cuts through the rock really does make it look like Goosenecks. It's really cool and a very unique rock formation. Just a quick note, there are signs saying that you can drone certain months of the year, but when I inquired at the entrance station, I got a hard no, which seemed pretty odd, but we gotta respect the rules. So for this one, I just have some shots from my Sony and a short time lapse that I did. Next up, we have Dead Horse State Park, and this is a park that I have been visiting for many years, and it is an awesome stop. Dead Horse is just outside of Moab, and it is between Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park. It's a relatively small state park, and it kind of feels just like a subsection of Canyonlands, but it's off on a completely different road from the Island in the Sky District, so it's worth the visit. The day use fee here is going to be $10, and there really aren't many trails here, so it's easy to do a quick visit on your way into Canyonlands if you're seeing Mesa Arch or something like that. There is camping as well, but the main attraction here really is going to be Dead Horse Viewpoint, which is at the very south end of the park. You get an incredible view of the canyons below and the Potash evaporation ponds to the east.
Crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
At number 8, we're going to have Coral Pink Sand Dunes, which is an awesome place to ride ATVs or rent sandboards if you're looking to ride down the sand dunes. This park costs $10 for a day visit, but it's worth noting that this park is somewhat in the middle of nowhere. There isn't really a big town nearby. However, if you're driving between Page, Arizona and St. George, Utah or Zion National Park, this will be on your drive, and it's a great stop that'll break your drive in half. This is a great park for just a quick visit and maybe a picnic or a lunch stop. Walking out on the dunes can get very tiring, and the summer heat here is no joke, so make sure to take some water and snacks with you. And if you do visit in the winter, you may get lucky to see some snow on the sand dunes, which makes the landscapes look really awesome.
You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
At number 9, we're going to have the Great Salt Lake State Park, which is an awesome and short day trip from Salt Lake City, with it being just 20 minutes from Salt Lake and 1 hour from Provo. The parking fee here is just $5 and it's a very cool visit. On one of the visits here, we had some really moody conditions with a dark gray sky, and you almost couldn't distinguish the lake from the sky, so it had this very cool mirror reflection look. We saw some boats go by and we had the place to ourselves during the sunrise. It was awesome, and it was just the perfect morning activity. And if you are looking for an additional activity to do with this and you're up for some more driving, this would pair great with Antelope Island State Park or the Bonneville Salt Flats, which is just west down I-80. Last up, but definitely not least, is going to be Sand Hollow State Park, and this is just less than a 5-minute drive from Quail Creek State Park. The nearby towns again are going to be Hurricane and St. George, and a visit here is going to be $15 per vehicle, and if you wanted to, you can visit Sand Hollow and Quail Creek in the same day. However, both parks have a lot of water sports activities and swimming, so even though I have visited both in one day, it's probably best to space these out. Sand Hollow is more popular than Quail Creek, so it's safe to say you can expect some more traffic while visiting, but it's a really fun place to cliff jump, ride a boat, kayak, or paddleboard. The red rock against the deep blue here is just amazing, and it also makes for some really great drone photography. There are a handful of camping options here at the park that can be found at reserveamerica.com. Anyways guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you are still watching, thank you so much, and if you're interested, I have dozens of other videos, vlogs, and travel guides from Utah, nearby states, and abroad. I've been traveling for the last 8 years, and I've visited 50 countries and have done more road trips in the USA than I can count, so hopefully you can find some of my other videos that you may like. And as always, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you next time.